Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. We've got what I think is going to be a game changer today for my spray painting work. You guys have probably all seen my spray paint guitar mounting, like guitar stand rig thing. I have an old video on it. I'm not even going to bring it out and show it to you right now because I think it's about to get embarrassed because today we're going to be unboxing and taking a look at the Spin Twist paint rig. The owner of this company has designed something that looks, I'm told, a lot like what they use in like Fender custom shop and that kind of thing. I think this is the bolt-on neck version. There's also going to be something for guitars that have a set neck. I don't know if it's a different rig entirely or if it's an attachment to this. I guess you'll just have to check. But for today, I'm going to take a look at this thing, the Spin Twist paint rig. Bit of a mouthful. And we're going to get it set up hopefully. And then when I go to do the demos of all the stuff you've seen me unbox lately, the Oxford paints and whatnot, I expect to be using this. It's going to make my life a lot easier. Let's take a look. Everything, I mean, it's closed right now. Everything looks good so far. They've got their oh, it's bloody heavy. Anyway, they got their logo printed right on here. Really high quality packing tape and stuff. And you know, that's not really important, but I always think it's a good sign. So let's take a look, see how this is packaged, get it set up, and yeah, see what we're dealing with here. I'm actually surprised at how well packed this is because I mean, it's not like it's a nice painted guitar type thing or anything like that. It's a tool, right? It's a piece of equipment. So the level of diligence here is impressive. Here we go. Spin Twist. Wow, here it says Spin Twist Spray Right Paint Rig, but the name has since become more concise. I've had this for a little while and haven't gotten a chance yet to unbox it. Now it's just Spin Twist Spray Rig as far as I know. I think this is probably the base. Yeah, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna need more room to set this up. He's even got the pipes taped up and stuff. So it looks like this whole thing would be reasonably easy to disassemble too. Got the logos on there. I'm gonna find well, what am I gonna do with this? I'm gonna put it off to the side a little bit. I wonder if there are instructions. There are in fact instructions. Give me a moment. I'm gonna take a look through these and then we'll get this thing assembled. All right, turns out I don't need a moment. I, right from the start, misunderstood a little bit what I was dealing with here. This thing there's more to it than I thought. I thought that this was just gonna be something that would sit on top of a table like this one. But as it turns out, I was wrong. This thing actually stands on the ground and yeah, it's its own kind of self-sustaining unit. I don't know what this one is. All right, so we've got the swivel piece itself here. Nice robust piece of metal, obviously. So that's good. Good quality. Obviously a good sign. I see a set screw for this. We'll figure out what exactly the deal is there. I'm making a mess here. I think these are the paddles. Yeah, here we go. These are the paddles that you bolt onto the guitar neck and then presumably, yeah, that slides on here and you spin it around and twist it. You got a couple of those so you can do a couple guitars in quick sequence. And you know what? This may be, I don't know, I'm guessing, this may be a drying rack. That'd be pretty cool if that's true. If that's true, yeah, here we go. We've got two more of these. I was going to say there are 4 spots to dry guitars on here, if that's accurate. So it'd be weird if there were only 2 paddles, but there are 4 paddles. So I don't see this piece in the instructions. I'm going to assume, until I find out otherwise, that this is what this is, a drying rack to allow me to spray and dry 4 guitars. So this is really going to speed up my process, which is nice. I might be able to get through projects in a reasonable amount of time going forward. I guess we'll see. Okay, so assuming that's correct, let's get this out of the way and move on to the actual rig. Does that fit there? Nope. All right, we'll see if I end up being correct about that. So the instructions look pretty straightforward. I was going to go through them in advance, but trying to be careful here. But I ended up figuring, hey, let's just see how complicated it is, how quick it is for me to do this kind of right with you guys watching. And then you'll know, because it looks pretty straightforward. You will need a reasonably sized place to do this. I see here's the main thing, so to speak. So here's the actual base. We've got a really cool bearing here, and there's a place to put oil in it to keep so you can maintain it well and all of that. So we're going to start by screwing in the legs. This couldn't be easier. Don't even need a tool to do it. It's got leveling ability on each of the legs. Really impressed so far, guys. I mean, I haven't really tested anything on it, but just right off the bat, really impressed with this. I'm gonna say though, this red paint, well, I don't know if the other side of this thing is painted, but this red paint's not gonna last if it's on the top side of this thing. I may actually end up vinyling this, putting a clear vinyl or something on here that I can peel off after to protect it. But I mean, that's the right way to do it. That's what I should do. But at the same time, I end up getting kind of lazy after a few sprays anyway, and then just sanding if I need to. So I might not. We'll see. All right. So that's the 4 legs in place. Like I said, they have leveling ability on them, something that's very easy to access from the outside too, so no problem there. Next up, we've got attach the rig's handle to the center spoke. All right, rig's handle. Right. Try not to lose anything here. Now we need the center spoke. There aren't that many parts, so this is extremely easy to figure out. All right, we got some screws here. Not sure what those are for. So let's start by sliding this in. I was too lazy to undo it, so you can do it that way in case anybody was curious. Leave 4-way connector on the left of the picture a little loose for the next step. This connector is already nice and tight. So I think the next step is going to be putting in the neck piece. Yep. Piece of cake. All right. Slide the rig handle onto the main support. All right. Rig handle is going to go through here. They have it marked up nicely in here, so I know exactly where it needs to go. And now I can tighten it, and it's adjustable if I want to move it later. Sweet deal. Okay. Get this cranked down a little bit more. I wish, you know, it wasn't all that long ago I was building my kid's nursery, and I'll tell you, almost nothing in there was this easy to set up. Okay, so that's that step. Now it's telling me that this thing was assembled and tested before shipping. However, we want to make sure that the bearing alignment and set screw are tightened in the right way to make sure this moves smoothly. So just follow the bearing alignment and sets. Okay, we'll make sure that this is done correctly. It says to put this thing on its side. We'll do it this way. I'm going to move the camera so you can get a better look at this. Insert main support. So it extends beyond the bearing 1/4 inch. Align bearings tighten screws as shown. Insert. Protruding a 1/4 inch. Okay, cool. So there are set screws on the 2 different bearings here. It's sliding through one bearing that's closer to the top and one bearing at the bottom to make sure it's stable. And apparently it is essential that those screws on each of those be aligned. Actually a lot simpler than it sounds. I show you. So here we go, 2 bearings, one here and one in here. Okay, and there are these little set screws on them. What we want to do is just make sure that those are lined up, which they are now. Is that protruding a 1/4 inch? That's probably better there. There we go, perfect. And then we just tighten those up. See if I can get them all matched up in terms of how tight they are too. Because when you tighten one, it takes room away from the other. That one in. And as it turns out, that's it. That's the final step. So this thing is good to go now. Ugh. But it's gonna have to go on the ground. Oh yeah, how cool is that? It says to add a paint shield, which is what this is apparently. So maybe I won't vinyl it, maybe I'll just make a few of these. Pretty straightforward. And then you fire a guitar on there. And that's it. Now I can spin the guitar like this, flip it like that. This is incredible. I was right. It puts my other one to shame. And then, yeah, when I'm done, there's a drying rack. So let's take the 4 guitars. I can do up to 4 and have them dry on here. Unreal. This thing also comes with a spare bolt for this apparatus and a bunch of screws to fasten guitars onto these. What more could you want, really? So, yeah, should we fire a guitar on here just to see how it moves? 1 minute. All right, so let's quickly test the theory here. We've got a bunch of screws that are varying lengths. So I guess it depends on whether you're putting it through an existing screw hole or if you just want something that's going to go in the middle, right? Like you could do a couple existing screw holes with the longer screws and bolt into those, or just, yeah, straight down the middle. This is the right size, yeah. I'm just going to do the center for this one. Pilot hole wouldn't be a bad idea, but not a big deal. Get 1, 2, and obviously if you're actually doing this, you'll want to do, you know, whatever cavity taping, etc. that you feel is necessary, but for the purpose of me showing you how this thing spins, it's not a big deal. All right, let's see here. So we come in, we got our guitar. Boom. Spray your edges. Spray your back. Spray your front. Do it all again. Control from over here if you want. Yeah. Back, front. Obviously works both hands, right? So if you're a right-handed painter, which I think most people would be. I could be wrong. I do either or. You can do the same thing. Doesn't matter. That's awesome. So there you go. Spin twist paint rig. Not entirely sure exactly how much this thing costs. I have kind of a particular arrangement with them. So there you have it. I don't know. But if you're doing a lot of guitars, even a few guitars, depending on what the price is on this seems totally worth it to me. Very excited to be using this. It's going to make things a lot easier. And there's a little spot here, you know, if you wanted to, you could drill a little hole to match up because there's a little spot in each of the paddles. So I could actually make that lock in place for like airbrushing, that kind of thing. And then once you're finished spraying, Boom. Drying rack. Game changer. All right, guys, there's not much else I can tell you about this thing. If you're serious about painting bolt-on neck guitars and you want to do a bunch of them, it seems like a very worthwhile thing to have, in my view. I did briefly mess around with a while ago with a design of my own for something kind of similar, and I found it it was going to be a real hassle, and it was never going to work anywhere near as well as this one clearly does. You could, I guess, even come up with some shorter legs. You need something underneath it because the bearing does stick out underneath. But yeah, I was about to say you could put it in the other side of the bearing, but don't do that. You need to protect the bearing from paint. But you could notionally just put it on like 4 little blocks and put it on a table or something if you're working with a little bit smaller space, or a booth that would work better for that sort of thing. I may even end up doing that. I doubt it, but I may. But yeah, not much else to say. We've got everything we need here to do, some pretty easy, fast, and higher volume paint jobs on bolt-on neck guitars, or even on set neck guitars if you want to spray them without the necks in and then glue them in after. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. Remember to check out Spin Twist Paint Rig. They've done a great job with this. I hope you guys are interested in it, but either way, I certainly am. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see the cool paint jobs that I do with this thing. I can't wait to try it out here, get it in action. And yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Have a good one. I'll see you next time.